Welcome back to the latest edition of Strictly Biased with yours truly, Will Retherford, out here on stage 22. It is an incredibly beautiful night. It's an incredible night for football.
It's like 10 Mondays in a row, Will.
2 Monday Night Football games tonight. Incredible weather. Mosquitoes are down. Nice bugs in the background. It just doesn't get much better than this, Greg.
Perfect. I don't know if days come any better than this, Will.
No, now that I said your name, let me introduce my co-host and guest tonight. He is the man that makes it all happen. He brings you the best coverage in all of Central Indiana and Indiana
Every week
in
you take way too long to get to the word legend. Just say it.
He's an absolute legend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Greg Mingelt, for being here this evening.
Thanks, Will.
So, Greg, I've got a lot to say. I've got a lot to think about. A lot that I know about. What do you want to know first?
What I want to know is this. Through 4 weeks in the NFL, there have been a couple of teams that have gone from, in my mind, either playoff or Super Bowl contender that I no longer consider to be that way.
Yes.
The Raiders being one of those.
Okay.
I thought they were a playoff contender. They're awful.
Yeah.
In your mind, anybody you had elevated that's no longer elevated through 4 weeks?
I think it's an interesting question because there's been so many injuries at teams that I think probably had a chance. I think if there's one team glaringly to me is the Bengals. They were one of my wild card teams coming into the season. So I don't think they're a playoff team now. I just don't think they're going to be able to withstand the loss of Burrow for 3 months. So that's a team to me that I circle around and say, yeah, that's a team that's not probably going to make the playoffs.
You still think the Patriots could be a top 4 team in the AFC?
I still think they could. I don't know that they will be a team that is a 5 or 6 seed, but I think they could sneak into that 7 seed. Why not? I mean, they've got a pretty easy schedule. It's manageable.
Yeah, but you told me they were one of the best 4 teams in the AFC at one time.
Oh, I don't think they're one of the best 4 teams in the AFC. No, but I think that they're a top 8 team, and I think that is good enough to be right there in contention with potentially sneaking into that 7th playoff spot, depending on how tiebreakers fall. And I mean, it's still so early. We have no idea. They could come out and not win a game the rest of the year. But I think right now they're 2-2. They look pretty good. Drake May looks pretty good. I don't know why you would be off on them. They're maybe a little less talented, but I've got faith that Vrabel will coach them well.
Because every time I've watched them, I kept thinking, Will thinks this team's going to be good.
I think they're
just not very good.
There's a lot of promise there. I think you haven't really seen Travion Henderson explode.
May. The rest of that roster is not very good right now.
And I think that he's good enough to keep him in it. I think that he is good enough to carry that team. He looked great after he got introduced to the NFL early last year after Jacoby Brissett got sat down. And I think that he's continued to build on what he's good at. He looks very Justin Herbert-ish to me. I don't think he's as good right now as Herbert was going into year 2, but he looks the mold. He's big, strong, fast. He's a physical quarterback. I think that he has every ability to be a Justin Herbert type quarterback once it's all said and done.
The Cardinals stand out in my mind as a team that I thought was going to be a playoff contender. I don't anymore.
Yeah, I'm kind of out on them as well. I don't know that they are polished enough. I don't think they have it. I don't think they have it in Kyler. I don't think they have it in their ability to scheme up plays to get their skill players open.
Plus the Rams are damn good.
The Rams are really good, and I don't think the 49ers are a slouch team either.
Yeah, decent roster.
The Seahawks, the Rams both really look the part in the NFC West, and so I think that naturally a team that's going to be on the downside of that will likely be the Arizona Cardinals. But that's always a division that's close. They could come out and surprise me. I still think Marvin Harrison has way too much talent to not be an incredible NFL wide receiver. They just need to unlock it.
He had an absolutely awful performance the other night, and still you can see how great he can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's just one of those situations that you largely look at. Maybe Marv just isn't the type of wide receiver for Kyler. I think Kyler's an off-script quarterback for the most part. I think that he's kind of a dink and dunk to Trey McBride, and I think Marv needs an on-script quarterback. I think a guy like Jared Goff, Marv thrives under. He's an incredibly polished route runner. He's good at the point of catch. He gets to his spots. And I think that Kyler's just too off script for him. I think that he's just a little bit kind of got to run around, kind of got to see I'm a little too small, probably to stand in the pocket and deliver great balls all the time. And so I've got to use my feet to be able to see and decipher what a defense is doing. And I just don't think that's Marvin Harrison Jr.'s strength. I believe
how good is Puka Nacua at that, man?
Well, but he's also got a quarterback that yes, thrives under that type of script as far as an offense. And it's so much more as we look at these NFL players as far as their talent will overcome all. It's like, no, I mean, there are good fits, there are bad fits. I think if you could go back and redo it, I think the Cardinals probably shouldn't take Marvin Harrison Jr. with that 4th pick, because I just don't think he's the right fit for Kyler.
All right, well, I know that your winners and losers and Super Bowl contenders are coming up. I assume the Colts aren't your winners this week. I don't think they're probably going to be in your losers, and I don't think they're going to be in your top 5 Super Bowl contenders. We have a Colts report coming up this week, but your thoughts on the loss to the Rams and what it means long term?
I don't think it means a whole lot. It was going to be a tough win. The only reason that people have the outcry that they do is because the Colts made it close. The Colts come out and get blown out, and
the same way.
The Colts don't look like they can win that game. People are just, okay, they won 3 games. They played a great team on the road in LA, and that's how I see this game. Right. I don't see this game. It's not the end all be all. I can't believe they were in it. Good NFL teams lose games like that all the time.
Didn't have Kenny Moore, didn't have Gonsalves, didn't have a lot of pieces.
No, Alec Pierce, whose you could tell his presence on the field, his lack of presence, I should say, was felt on the field.
And by the way, you bring this up, I want to counter that. I guess it's kind of go off of your point. We don't remember A.D. Mitchell's fumble if he doesn't make an incredible move to get to the end zone. And look, I know that it doesn't mean much for yesterday, but does it mean much for the future? Maybe. He might be a legit receiver, and he almost had 100 yards yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, now let's also say that a large chunk of that was also tied up in the 170-yard play. Here's my issue with the A.D. Mitchell thing. It should never happen. It should never happen to any player. Carry the ball through the end zone. It's not difficult. You showboat once you're there, or if you're going to showboat, make sure you aren't letting go of the ball. I mean, it's just one of those. It's an unacceptable play. It's a losing NFL play, and it's what's plagued this Colts team for years. Is that's the thing that happened. Jonathan Taylor did it last year in Denver. That completely changed how that season looked for them. I think that it's early enough in the year where it's not detrimental to the Colts that they lost this game in that fashion, but it is a play that is a microcosm of as what has been an issue with this franchise and cannot continue if they ever want to be legitimate contenders.
Way too many games that we can refer to as that game.
Yeah.
Where they gave it away. Yep. Because the last 3 or 4 years, it's just been one after the other.
Yeah.
They've been it seems like they play a close game every week.
Yeah, they do. They don't really, and I think that's what's made this Colts team feel so different. Is at least this Colts team's been blowing teams out.
Yeah,
I mean, the 2 of their first 3 weeks were blowouts.
Yeah,
and then the other game against Denver at home really shouldn't have won, and they did. And it was like the Colts never win a game. Like the Colts always find a way to lose that game, and somehow they won it, right. Regardless of the officiating. The Colts found a way to win that game. And this play, I think what brought out the demons in Colts fans is what we've seen this too many times. Yeah. I went back and watched most of the game. He looked really good, actually.
I'm only hypercritical of him compared to the guy who is taken right after him, who is already one of the best 10 defensive players in the NFL.
What I'll challenge you on there is, I mean, he was tied for the league lead in pressures in week 4. I mean, I don't he's not jumping off the stat page as far as he's got 3 sacks. I get that.
He's not jumping off anything. He gets blocked too easily. He's not very good.
He's
not as bad
impact.
as Kwity Paye, who's just really bad.
I think he played better than I said last night. So I'm gonna go out and say that. What I will say is the offensive line looked rough. I don't know if any of them played a particularly good game.
Well, I haven't broken down the film yet. I have rewatched the game, but I haven't gone position by position. We will do that on Wednesday's Colts report. Might be Thursday. Don't remember. But Will, this is not the Colts Report. This is Strictly Biased with Will Retherford. We're here to talk about the entirety of Week 4 in the NFL. Will, I need some winners and I need some losers.
Hey, Will, who are the winners and the losers of the week? Hey, Will, who are the winners and the losers of the week?
Greg, once again, I'm going to start on the losers because I believe winners always deserve to be talked about at the end, not the beginning. Because nobody cares about the winners at the beginning, only the last game of the season. I'm going to start off just by mentioning that I did have the Cardinals on the losers list. However, we did talk about them enough that I feel as if we can kind of skip them a little bit. I had an extra point this week anyway, so it worked out perfect.
Cardinals, you're losers like you've been. Will.
I'm going to preface one thing, and then I'll move on. When you play not to lose, you lose every time. Jonathan Gannon needs to learn that. My number 5 loser.
You know what, Will? Almost all the NFL coaches need to learn that.
I agree.
They all play not to lose.
My number 5 loser, Malik Neighbors. An unfortunate way for him to end the year. A player with so much talent. He looked incredible last year. He's looked really good to start this year off. He tears his ACL, and he's going to miss the rest of the year. The Giants lack pretty much any playmaking outside, unless you really believe in Wan'Dale Robinson, which I think he's a talent, but he's not a 1. He's a 2
right.
or a 3.
He's a Jawan Jennings, a high-end number 2, playing your number 1.
Yeah. Cam Skadaboo's coming to the NFL. I think it's a mirage. I don't think he's a great NFL player. He runs super physical. He runs super hard. But
there's a place for that for sure.
There is until you break your neck or you start the injuries, a shoulder injury or something like that, because you're just seeking out violence that doesn't typically bode well for career longevity. So I think he's always going to have a niche, but he can't be the feature back for that reason. He has all the skills of a great 2-back. But I think that he's one of those that he would benefit from when Tyrone Tracy is healthy and comes back, and they can kind of be more of a 1-2 punch.
Again, not the Colts Report, but I want to ask you, any concern about using Tyler Warren the way they're using him long-term as a battering ram at the goal line?
No, because Skadaboo is seeking contact every single touch. He is looking for how physical can I be every single time I touch the football. I mean, Warren, if we're talking about 2 or 3 times a game, sure, it's increasing the risk, but you didn't draft Tyler Warren not to use him in any way you can use Tyler Warren. So it's one of those, and I get why the Giants are
damn, is he good, Will?
He absolutely is, and it's the same reason I understand why the Giants are using Skadaboo in that fashion. It's not to critique what they're doing.
Of course.
I just don't – I see him as a splash in the pan. An injury derails his career because he just is so physical.
He's so much fun to watch.
He's fun. And I think when Tracy comes back, you're talking about a 1-2 punch that is uber talented. Not 2 guys that really are going to jump off. Yeah. Jump off a look at how incredible this running back is, but 2 incredibly useful NFL running backs. Dart looked pretty good in his NFL debut. I will say that, but I would say that Daboll definitely kept him on a leash. I don't think that they really enveloped Jackson Dart as much as they could. They made him do the things they wanted to do and not anything more than that.
When he had to improvise, he made really good decisions.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I think that the promise is there. You just let's see when the leash is taken off a little bit more, how he really when it suddenly it becomes him and not Daboll kind of cherry picking where we use him, if that makes sense.
Gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Without Malik Neighbors now.
Oh. They're in a lot. That D line's incredible too, but they're going to really struggle, I think, without Neighbors.
Yeah, I think we undersold the Giants' defensive line against the Chargers' offensive line in that game.
Yeah, the second I don't slap Jim Harbaugh across the face, he slaps me right back. But
I think we found the Chargers' weakness.
Yep, I agree with that. But I see Harbaugh as a coach that will coach them up, and that will not be a weakness.
Absolutely.
Come Week 18.
They're still going to win 12, 13 games.
For sure. Number 4 loser. The Saints are absolutely horrible. That is just an awful NFL team. they may only win one game, and that's only because it's so hard to win 0 games that they'll win one by happenstance.
They play the Panthers and Falcons twice. There's no way they're winning just one game. The Falcons, the next time they win a road game, would be what, the 80s? The last time they won a road?
Yeah, it seems like it. Play great at home. It's just one of those where Spencer Rattler plays fine. Like, he's not like turning the ball over a ton. He's started his career 0-10, one of like 6 NFL quarterbacks who have ever done that. Rare company to be in.
And by the way, I don't think any of those ever won more than 2 or 3 games in their careers.
Yep. So you're looking at a guy that just is not enough for the Saints to win. Chris Olave got his 5th-year option picked up. I think he's probably a target to get moved at the trade deadline. Why re-sign an expensive number 1 receiver that, while injury-prone, is incredibly talented when you can trade him at the deadline and get something back for him? Because I don't see his prime being when this Saints team is good. That's how bad they are.
His name sounds like a Dean Martin song, by the way. Christopher Olave.
You're showing your age, but that's okay. My number 3, the Packers. I mean, seriously,
not good.
Look like world beaters the first 2 weeks. All of a sudden, they can't play defense.
Well, 2 weeks ago, they couldn't play offense.
Yeah.
And last week, they couldn't play defense.
I mean, the Cowboys looked great. Dak looked like vintage Dak.
Dak looked incredible.
Yeah. So let's not to take away from the fact that, like, when Dak is right, Dak's a really good NFL quarterback.
Every pass was on the money.
On the money.
Every open receiver found.
One pass he missed to Jalen Tolbert over the middle, which was one of those that Dak doesn't usually miss. But so far, I mean, I think it was 31 of 40. He threw for over 300, 3 passing touchdowns, 1 on the ground. Dak is all the way back. I think Schottenheimer's offense looks really good. I do think the Cowboys have a potential to be pretty good if they're offensively, if they're scoring 30 points a game. I think their defense is really putrid.
Really bad.
But their offense looks good without CD Lamb, I might add.
They're going to be a team like the Falcons that wins at home and loses on the road.
That's probably true. Maybe they have 9 home games and they have 8 road games.
Well, they're not going to win all of them. They're not going to beat the Eagles at home. They're not that good. Do we need to add Dak's name to the list when we start talking about Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert? Does he belong on that list too?
He can be when Dak is healthy. Yeah, when Dak is healthy, he's that good.
He looked that good last night.
He did, absolutely. Speaking of the Eagles, you brought them up. They're my number 2 loser, and they're 4-0. They're my number 2 loser. They have a huge problem with playing good football.
Yeah, they're a little. Like, they dominated a couple of halves against 2 really good teams when they needed to.
They have a problem playing good football. I said it. People call me crazy. I'm sure Mike Hutz will tell me I'm a dipshit and this, that, and the other.
Jalen Carter is so good, man. He just makes that defense impossible. They're so talented. Ugh.
The Bucs were a couple seconds away from winning that game.
No, I know, understand. They almost gave it away.
And Egbuka, if he actually just runs to the end zone and doesn't take 5 seconds to lollygag around at the 1-yard line before he goes in, maybe the Bucs have enough time, but that's neither here nor there.
Without block kicks in back-to-back weeks, they're 2-2.
Yeah.
But they just find a way to get it done.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of impressed from what I've seen. I think they're kind of toying with everybody.
Here's the problem.
They might be that good.
Here's the problem. Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown are on the same team, and the Eagles can't pass. They cannot throw the ball. Like, that's not sustainable. And I think that the issue is not going to be that they're not talented enough. The issue is going to be that A.J. Brown implodes. And
that's what we've been counting on.
Creates an issue.
But the defense is so good, I'm not sure how much it matters.
I think it's going to matter. Just wait. I think it's going to get really ugly and nasty. It's been trending that direction.
I've been predicting it just like you have, but after this week, after back-to-back wins over the Rams and Buccaneers, I think the second and third best teams in the NFC.
Yeah. Maybe. We'll see. My biggest loser, the Ravens.
Has to be.
I don't think they're making the playoffs.
They're certainly not the team I thought they were.
I mean, they looked horrible in Arrowhead. Any injury to Lamar that he's out for any sort of time is going to be a detriment to them.
Last week at this time, they were playing on Monday Night Football, and I said I don't think they'd lose another game the rest of this year.
Yeah, they've lost 2.
And they've lost 2 since then, and have just neither game was close.
Yeah, Kyle Hamilton might be the only guy that can play defense on their entire roster.
He's
1-3 is a really tough hole to come out of, but on the positive side, their division is really bad. Because I think the Bengals are bad, I think the Browns are bad. And I don't think the Steelers are great either. I think if Lamar can get healthy, perhaps I'm wrong in saying that they can't make the playoffs, but 1-3 is tough. They're going to have to go on a roll here, and they play a rather tough schedule, so I guess time will tell.
It's looking more and more like Josh Allen's year.
Yeah, it is. Well, and speaking of Josh Allen, why don't we just get to our winners? I will preface this by saying the Bills are not on my 5 winners, but Josh Allen's a winner. He's a winner in my heart, and that's all that matters.
Okay.
My number 5 winner. The Falcons can be so good if they put it together. I mean it. Their offense is loaded with talent. Bijan, Drake London, Kyle Pitts looks like a different version of himself. Darnell Mooney. If Michael Penix can just be okay, they will be just fine.
Hey, Will, what happened 8 days ago?
Sure, I'll give you that. But hey, they looked good. They beat a good team. I get a good team without their starting quarterback, and I understand that. I'm just saying that this team has the potential to be really good if their offense can put it together. That's all I'm saying.
It's not going to.
We'll see. I think Penix is different. I think that he can be different. I don't know that he's an incredible. I know we talked about, that he's a career backup type guy, and last week maybe I was singing a different tune, but he looked pretty good this week. And I think that getting Kyle Pitts involved will only help that team. He's an incredibly talented tight end, whether people want to admit it or not. They love to hate on him. Drake London's an awesome number 1. They have all the talent. I mean, Bijan speaks for himself. We don't even need to talk about him. Like that offense is loaded. Just think about it. I know that you're
coming into the season, I was saying the same thing. And then I saw him play against the Panthers, and if every time they go out on the road against bad teams, they lose 30-0.
Yeah.
I can't take them seriously.
You're all in with this. I think they'll contend for a wild card spot.
I think so too.
Number 4.
I don't take them seriously though.
Number 4. The Patriots have their guy. Drake May looks so comfortable in the pocket. Aware that they beat a bad team in the Panthers, but you got to hope that they can find another receiver to go along Stephon Diggs. And I think this team could be awfully good down the stretch, and maybe they're good down the stretch and don't make the playoffs, but they're a 2022 Lions team where they finish really hot down the stretch, and then all of a sudden they come into the next year with a ton of energy, mojo, and expectation, and they look incredible next year. I think it could be one of those situations. My number 3, the Jags go win a game that they never win. They never win that game against the 49ers in San Francisco, or I should say Santa Clara, but whatever. They always go lose that game. That is classic Jacksonville Jaguars. That's why we love, as Colts fans, to see it happen. And
they lost it a couple of weeks ago at the Bengals.
Yeah. A game that the NFL admitted that they had the wrong call.
It seems like it's that way all the time with the Jaguars.
They have bad luck, but they won a game that they just don't ever get the job done in. Their run game looks much improved. Liam Cohen, I think, really – I mean, everybody talks about what he did with Baker in the pass game, but I think why that is because his run game is so effective. I mean, ETN, we went from a guy that was talking about washed-up running back to – the guy's a world beater.
You did.
I did. I've been Travis Etienne's biggest hater.
And I tried to tell you, I kept telling you, he's at least an average starting running back in the NFL. And
Tootin looks great as their number 2. If that passing game can figure it out, which they've got Brenton Strange, I think, is a very capable tight end, and they've got Brian Thomas Jr. and Travis Hunter. If Lawrence and those boys can get it figured out, I think that they have the chance to be really good. Everybody's going to look at the numbers. Well, Baker's first 5 games with Liam Cohen as his offensive coordinator, how much better they were than Lawrence's numbers. And that is true. What I will say, though, is Mike Evans, K-Dot, and Rachaad White and Chris Godwin make a whole lot of difference with that Bucs team. They found themselves Bucky Irving, who only helped. I think this is a coming-of-age Jacksonville Jaguars team. They're super young out wide between Parker Washington, Hunter, and Brian Thomas Jr. They're not as polished. If they can figure out this pass game to marry the run game, the Colts definitely have their hands full in the AFC South. My number 2, the Rams, are really good. They look...
And when they get healthy, they'll look even better.
They look just kind of unstoppable. I really don't know how anybody beats them. This team is a team I initially kept out of the playoffs because of some injury concern. Yeah, they're making the playoffs. I was completely wrong on that.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford's good. He's not the reason they're good anymore.
He's ageless, but he's ageless.
But he's not the reason that they're good anymore.
He looks better now than he did during his time in Detroit
because he's got a good offensive line. He's got good weapons. He's got a good defense. They've got pretty much everything that you need to have a good NFL team.
Nakua,
Oof.
Enough said.
Adams.
The team can just go get it. They're in a competitive division, but their home field advantage is growing. They are starting to really build a fan base in LA. That was very loud over the TV in that Colts game. Colts fans sounded loud too, though. Yeah, I'm high on the Rams. My biggest winner, a team that you love, they're deep in your heart, the Detroit Lions, are looking really, 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 really. How many reallys is that? Good. That's how many.
A lot of reallys.
Might be the best version of the Detroit Lions in the Dan Campbell era.
Oh, come on. They were sitting at 15-1 last year until Hutchinson got hurt.
I think this team is better. This team is
not better than last year.
Amon-Ra St. Brown's unguardable.
He was last year too.
I think that they were running on fumes with that defense late in the year last year.
Because of all the injuries.
If they stay healthy, Hutchinson is. I mean, he was my defensive player of the year pick, and I like that right now. I think he's been that big of a game changer on the defensive side of the ball. Yeah, it's
real.
They're real. They are real. Yeah, incredible home field. They're a playoff team, no question.
Oh yeah. At this point, I think they're the best team in that division. Although you have to prove it head-to-head with the Packers now.
Yep.
I believe, Will, the next time the Lions and Packers play is Thanksgiving, so we're going to get a good one.
Absolutely.
On Thanksgiving. Hey, Will, I need to know, who are the 5 teams you think are most likely to win the Super Bowl? Not the best 5 teams.
Yep.
I want to remind the listeners, we're not talking about the best 5 teams in the NFL right now. We're talking about the 5 teams most likely to win the Super Bowl right after this lovely jingle and a short break.
And well, who are the 5 teams most likely to win Super Bowl 60 in the play?
Well, before you get to your top 5 contenders, have you looked at our NFL media pick standings this week?
I have not.
Susie Mengelt skyrocketed to the top, only missing 1 game all weekend. Wow. And she now has the lead, and despite the Monday Night Football game still going on, has clinched the week. I'm proud of my woman.
Yeah, that's impressive. I felt like I saw the board pretty well, but
until late Sunday, we both did.
Yeah, that's all right.
Raiders and the Ravens just killed us.
Yeah, they did. But that's you get burnt. That's what's going to happen. Long season.
She was the only one who had the Giants.
Well, and I will say that it looks good now, but that was an atrocious pick in the beginning. I mean, come on. Let's be fair.
I think producer Susie might have something to say about that.
Well, producer Susie can say all she wants. Nobody in their right mind should have been picking the Giants to win that game.
I told you going into it. It's a West Coast team going east. It happens all the time. Every year, 3 teams from the West who are really good come out east and play a team in the East that's really bad and lose.
Well,
it just happens.
Wouldn't have expected with the Chargers. But speaking of the Chargers, I've got my 5 most likely. I'm going to go through this pretty quick because people are probably going to pick up likely who my teams are.
Do you have the Ravens on your list?
I don't.
Because I would still have them on my list as the teams 5. Not the 5 best teams right now, but most likely to win the Super Bowl.
I think
if they get in the playoffs with a healthy Lamar Jackson, they're still going to be dangerous.
I think you'll like my 5 right now. Number 5, the Rams.
For sure.
Number 4, the Lions.
They're the Lions, so I wouldn't put them on the list. They're really
I think
good.
they're different.
I
think they're different. 3, Chargers. Still believe. Like you said, NFL teams lose games all the time.
Yeah.
Like you're very hard to go undefeated.
That doesn't concern me.
Yeah. I think they're still going to win the division. They're 3-0 already in the division, which is huge.
Just one of those games.
Yeah, just one of those games. Number 2, the Bucks. I think the Bucks have the upper hand because the Eagles won match 1. Give Todd Bowles, now he's seen this offense.
Unless they have to go to Philadelphia in January.
They did it. They did it 2 years ago and won.
I know. This Buccaneers team is built to win games on the road, unlike past Buccaneers teams. This Buccaneers team, they're tough, man. They're tough-minded.
Yep.
I would definitely not take them off the board.
No. Number 1, the Bills. Speaks for itself. It's Josh Allen's year, I think.
I would have the Bills way number 1. I have the Ravens number 5, and then in the middle there, in some order, Rams, Buccaneers, and Eagles.
Yeah.
2, 3, and 4. I think the AFC is the Bills to win.
Yeah, for sure.
The NFC is still wide open.
For sure.
The whole thing is the Bills to win.
As far as the most likely to number 1 pick, the Saints and Titans are fighting for that. It's just a 2-man race.
The Titans are going to win some games. I think it's the Saints are going to be 1, the Titans are going to be 2.
Perhaps.
Now for a bonus segment.
So, you talked about that you really wanted to discuss the MLB because it's hot right now. I'm sure you're probably on cloud 9. So what do you want to talk about?
I want to know what your picks are. I told everyone on our picks competition podcast that I'd get you cornered here with your wild card picks. Let's just go through in the order that I did last night. Just give me a brief synopsis of what you think is going to happen. We start as we always do in the National League, our favorite division, our home division, as we call it.
Yes.
Which houses the Cubs, the Cardinals, and the Reds, the 3 teams most popular here in central Indiana. And 2 of those are playing in the wild card round, 3 o'clock on Tuesday, 3 o'clock on Wednesday and Thursday as well.
Yep.
Cubs and Padres. What do you think is going to happen?
I think the Padres are the better team. They may not be the better team record-wise, and I don't think the home field's always fared well in this new iteration of the MLB Wild Card. I think it's advantageous if the team can go in and win one. I think there's a much better chance that they win the other. I trust the pitching of the Padres a little bit more, especially the bullpen. The Cubs haven't played very well of late, and I think that speaks something. They swept the Cardinals at the end of the year, but the Cardinals have thrown the shoe in. I mean, that was a AAA lineup that the Cardinals were rolling out there. I don't give a whole lot of credence to it. I view the Padres as the better team. I've been high on the Padres the whole year. I think the Padres win this series. I do think it goes 3. I think the Cubs get 1, but I think the Padres win in 3.
I think the Padres are the candidate for the team that chokes it away, and I'm taking the Cubs in 3.
Okay.
Reds, Dodgers?
The Dodgers are winning. The Reds just don't have the horses to go, I don't think.
Probably not to compete with the Dodgers.
I would have said the same with the Mets. The third wild card team did not earn being the third wild card team. Whoever did it lucked, and the other just played so.
We've been saying the Brewers should just get an automatic bid to the NLCS and let the other 4 teams play in the other bracket.
Yeah, yeah, it's
that's how bad the second wild card was.
Yep, it's really bad. So I see the Dodgers winning it in 2. I think they just get it done.
I said it's going to come down to the 9th inning of Game 3, I believe. I like the Reds' bullpen, so I think they're going to win 1 game at least. And I just don't think the Reds manufacture enough runs, and the Dodgers have those bats that they're going to produce 2 or 3 runs a game with hard hit balls into the outfield or over the fence. So I give the Dodgers. We'll say this: I give the Reds a big managing advantage in that one. But I'll take the Dodgers.
All right.
In the American League, it is the Detroit Tigers against the Cleveland
team. I don't know how to feel about this one. I think it's a curious...
I'll tell you, I was the only one who picked the Indians. I was the only one who picked Cleveland to win the series.
I think I'll also take Cleveland. I don't think the Tigers have played very well, and Cleveland's kind of had Detroit's number.
It's hard to get that momentum back.
It really is. I think that this is one of those cases Cleveland flies into the playoffs playing really well, and they win a playoff series. I don't think they go any further, but I think they win a playoff series just by happenstance of them winning so many games. Skubal probably pitches well in game one. They get him out, and then they just kind of go to work. Jose Ramirez, Steven Kwan, two guys you really like on your team. Good playoff baseball players too. Cleveland plays ethical baseball, and I think that will speak volumes to their success this first series.
Everybody else said, well, the Tigers are just the better team. That's true. But Cleveland's going to win anyway.
I'm with you on that one.
And Yankees, Red Sox.
I'm curious as to your thoughts before I give my own.
I think the Yankees are winning the American League.
I also think that they're winning this series. I don't know if they're winning the American League, but they're winning the series. I just think Judge will play out of his mind. Like, I think Aaron Judge might seriously win this series for the Yankees.
Yeah, I agree.
It's got loud last year that he didn't perform super well in the playoffs. I think he comes out with a vendetta. I think he plays out of his mind, and that's an awfully tough ballpark to play in.
Paul was the only one who picked the Red Sox, and he's a Yankees fan. So,
well,
who are you taking in the National League?
I still think I'm taking the Phillies.
Me too. It's gonna be the last two rounds are gonna be really good.
I agree with that. I do think that is true, but I just think the Phillies they're the best on paper. I think they're the best roster. I think they're just the best team.
I think the only thing I know for sure going into the playoffs, and I don't think I could tell you for sure who's winning any of the series, is that the National League champion is going to win the World Series.
I also agree with that as well. I think that the National League is deeper, better, more competitive.
I think the best four teams are all in the National League.
Yeah, if I was to list out the best four teams, I think I'm taking the Phillies, the Dodgers, the Brewers, and the Padres, probably in that order.
And before you get to the Blue Jays or the Yankees or whoever you think it is in the American League.
Yeah, really, I think so.
You would have thought Tigers at one point. Their roster's awfully good.
I will say the Mariners pitching staff. The Mariners pitching staff.
I kind of forgot about the Mariners.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. It might just be the Mariners, although it's like the Lions.
They won't get it done.
I just assume they're not going to get there.
No, they won't get it done.
Since we're in bonus time anyway, let's preview your Saturday podcast where you and I pick our games against the other contributors to the Central Indiana Sports Report and some local media that we've talked into it.
Yep.
Looking ahead to Week 5 real fast, 49ers-Rams on Thursday. It's going to be a good one.
Really good.
You have a pick since we won't see each other between now and then? It's in L.A.
Give me the Rams.
I'm taking the Rams as well. Colts host the Raiders, game that needs to win.
Yeah.
They need to win.
Absolutely.
Broncos at Eagles, good one.
Good one. Although Denver is down early right now in that game, but still really early.
In the Monday night game. No Monday night doubleheader, by the way.
Yep. In fact, I'm going to go watch that game when we get done. So,
Buccaneers at Seahawks is a good one in the 4 o'clock window. And the national game is the Chargers against Washington. Pretty good one.
Yeah.
In L.A. on Fox. NBC on Sunday Night Football, Patriots and Bills. Pretty good one. Good to have the Bills on national television every time. They're fun to watch. And then the finish was with Chiefs at Jaguars, and another chance for Jacksonville to prove that, like the Colts, they're trying to prove they belong.
Yeah, I think the national games, I mean, they could all be stinkers, but I think pretty good. Slate of games.
Good slate of games. Thanks for listening. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media, and I love Susan.